It's me, Dr. Lynn Daniel, coming to you today on my YouTube channel. I want to talk to you about writing dissertation, chapter 3. I have a sample from the University of Arizona writing lab, and this is an amazing sample that I found it to be very helpful for me. Now, I will recommend that you look at your school sample. Always look at what your school is providing and requiring of you, and pay attention because schools tweak things, they revise and they change things. I used this document in 2019 and 2020 when I changed from mixed methods to a qualitative study. And so this was the model that helped me to move forward. Now, in chapter 3, that is your methodology chapter. And of course, you're going to follow APA 7. That's where we are now. So be mindful of your margins. And as you can see, the margins are noted for you up here in the upper left-hand corner. Also, the tips provided in this document, I found them very helpful. So you can find this document. There's the name, Dissertation Chapter 3 Sample. If you Google that, you're going to find it. But let's just go through it very quickly. So Chapter 3 is recommended to be anywhere from 10 pages to 30 pages in length, covering your introduction, where you describe your methodology and you connect it to the research questions. You also outline how your chapter 3 will be organized. That is all in your introduction. Your research questions are restated as you presented them in chapter 1. Then your methodology that you chose is discussed and justified for that, your research design. Like, talk about why the methodology fits your research design if you're doing a qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods. You describe your specific methodology in the following paragraphs in chapter 3. And here's a tip. Minimize the use of direct quotes. You can always quote indirectly, but direct quotes, the quotes with the quotation marks and the page number that's required, minimize the use of those. Get into the habit of paraphrasing the information, putting it in your own words. But if you do use a direct quote, be certain to add the page number in as a part of your citation. So notice that there is a section for you to describe your role as the researcher in the data collection procedure. You can talk about how this ties into your expertise, maybe your career, what you've been doing professionally. There is a section for you to discuss your study participants, like you describe the criteria that you use to select them and describe them specifically. And you justify or at least tie in your recruitment approach to your methodology, provide a rationale for why you selected the number of participants and the protocols that you use to select those participants. Okay, there is a section for you to talk about your data collection. So the systems that you use for keeping track of the data and the process for generating, gathering, and recording the data. You discuss your procedures that you follow and you go into deep details about them that you follow during the conducting of your research. So you're providing enough information so that your study can be duplicated and replicated by other researchers, and they could do the same things that you did. Okay. There is a section for you to talk about bias and how you minimize bias. And if you want to know more about bias, researchers' bias, there is new work and new discussion around bias. It's particularly regarding qualitative studies. You can find Dr. Kakali Bhattacharya's work and Google her name, Kakali, Dr. Kakali Bhattacharya, Bhattacharya. Bhatta, Bhattacharya, I think is how it's spelled. I'm trying to go from visual and memory. But Google her to find out more. And there are other researchers who discuss bias in qualitative work and the relationship between the researcher and the participants in qualitative work. So you might want to take a look at that. And then there's a section for you to dive deep in the data analysis. Discuss how you did the analysis. How did you code the transcripts? What process did you use? What tools did you use? And how did it align to your study design? Okay. There's a section for you to go into further detail about your coding. So within this section, give details about the coding procedures and themes, how they developed. And so you'll see that there. And then the tools that you use, this person used in vivo, or in this sample, in this model, this person is showing us or speaking about using in vivo as a tool, a computer analysis tool, software to help them in the data analysis procedure. You talk about your trustworthiness, the credibility, the transferability of your study, how the dependability of your study, and the confirmability of your study. Okay, that is important. You also show evidence of how you assured accuracy of your data. Explain how you lessen the impact of potential research bias. Again, speak to bias and then look at some of the most latest literature on bias with qualitative work so that you can be informed of what a larger audience is saying, or an audience that is more intersectional and not just from one perspective. Okay. Ethical concerns, explain how informed consent was obtained. Summarize your key points in your summary. Connect chapter 3 to chapter 4. And again, chapter 3 is expected to be anywhere from 10 to 25 pages. So again, this is a sample paper adapted from the Writing Center at the University of Arizona. Actually, it was formerly Ashford University, but I believe Ashford University has been acquired by the University of Arizona. So thank you all for watching this video. This video is about chapter 3 of your doctoral dissertation. If you want chapter 4, just leave me comments, ask me questions. I intend to do chapters 4 and 5, but I'm doing other things, so I may not get to them right away. Thumbs up this video, share it, interact with it. All right. Be blessed, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye. Bye.